You are now listening to WSN Wolf Sports Network, live from the University of West Georgia in Carrollton, now in Odyssey Station.
In the city of dreams, three friends.
I just took the bias out of it.
That's fine.
In college, what made Johnny Manziel so electrifying, how he got those big plays, was he would snap the ball, wait for the play to break down, and then make the play.
Where you get to meet some of West Georgia's greatest stars.
Maybe this can be a debate for another day, but I'm a big Jordan guy.
Good.
I don't know if those are fighting words or not. But.
Feeling good. It's just an honor to be here. Anytime you get to share the platform with the GOAT, Cole Fisher, it means you might be an athlete.
And don't forget, triple play.
We all had three separate lists.
Love to hear it.
I am going to go with Georgia State versus Baylor and my number one.
So grab a drink
And some popcorn. And get ready to enjoy the show.
This is Triple Threat.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Triple Threat. It is a beautiful, chilly Friday morning here in the City of Dreams,
Sure
Carrollton,
is.
Georgia. And if you're watching the YouTube stream and you're wondering who this beautiful man sitting next to Jason
What a
Barker
head
is,
of hair.
I might have to introduce you to Parker Gore, the voice of UWG Athletics. How are you feeling today on Triple Threat, man?
Feeling great. It's great to be here. Appreciate the opportunity to get up on the mic with you guys. It's certainly a fun time whenever I tune in, so it's a pleasure to be here.
Awesome, we're happy to have you.
You are the first ever person for an
Yeah.
interview to be on for a full show,
You
like
are our
in
first
station
live interview.
history
Yeah.
for sports at least.
Yeah, you know I can talk about sports. We've all talked about sports before, so yeah, you know I can do it.
We got Parker Gore for a solid hour, so
Dude,
strap
it's
in.
gonna
It's
be
going to
a
be a
good
great
day.
show.
Buckle up.
All right, so speaking of the voice of UWG Athletics, let's talk about him.
And your Wolves are on the run.
It is a huge homecoming weekend here in Carrollton, Georgia. Parker, you're going to be calling this football game against Shorter. What are your thoughts for how the Wolves are gonna play this weekend?
Well, Shorter's certainly a tough team. They've got a really, really good head coach in Coach Harrison, and West Georgia's got a really good squad. You know, all the Division I transfers that came in. Going up a level to Division I is certainly something big, but Shorter, you know, they've had history with us, so I know they're going to be going into that game looking for a big win, especially on the road like that. And at homecoming too, you got to think they're coming with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. Without
Absolutely.
doubt.
Yeah, well, what do you think the Wolves have to do to go out there and kind of change the tide on the season?
Well, it really weighs in on what the defense can do. We've seen them outplay a lot of people. They really stuck up against Central Arkansas last week, nearly won West Georgia the game, and their offense really stepped up as well. So that defense is really doing their job, but the offense they've got to find a rhythm, and so far that rhythm just hasn't. It's been there, and they're playing conservative and they're playing safe, and that's how you should play football. But at the same time, like you gotta take risks at times, and you gotta put points on the board. And in the red zone, that the West Georgia team just they struggle a little bit.
Is it confirmed that Quincy Casey's going to be starting?
100%, yeah.
So
My inside source has
Wow.
told me that Davin took no QB1 reps this week. It was all Quincy. I think they're trying to help heal Davin a little bit because his shoulder's been injured from what I've heard as well. So, but it's all Quincy this week.
And I'm on the board that says that's going to really open up our offense a little bit, help us hopefully in those red zone situations, especially like we just cannot get in the end zone.
Sneaky
We
Lamar
could
Jackson.
very easily be a 5-1 football team right now if we could just put a drive together at the end of the game or a drive anywhere at any point of the game. You know, just an additional drive. Get 6, not get 3 and then miss field goals wide left or wide right. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. I think that we should win. Obviously, it's our homecoming game. And one of Coach Taylor's goals was to win every home game. And we haven't done that. We're not going to do that. And I think that the team's going to have a little bit of a sour taste in their mouth because of that. They're definitely going to want to win this football game. And probably what's going to be the largest crowd in UWG football history.
Yeah,
It's certainly going to be a big crowd.
It's going to be big.
Yeah,
near 10,000.
absolutely.
Holy smokes!
And
Yeah.
speaking of homecoming, do not forget to vote Carly Pear for homecoming court this year. Do it. Pick 6. I don't know if you can.
I don't know if
that.
you can scan the QR code,
vote Carly Bear, pick
pick
6.
Carly.
Y'all know where to go.
Y'all know
Just
where to
do
go.
it.
Y'all know
go
what
on
to
the
do.
forums, Wolf Connect.
Do it.
Carly for senior class representative and overall, we're getting the dub. We're going to be famous James out there with our W's up there and with her winning.
Get the dubs. All right. And some more West Georgia sports. We got volleyball. Football's not the only sport here for homecoming. We got volleyball with 2 games. One tonight at 6. John, how you feeling?
How am I feeling
How
after
are you
last
feeling?
after
Yeah.
last week? I just think they need to go back out there and win. I mean, we're a 500 team right now, and they just need to lock back in and just play good against Bellarmine. Is that how you say it? I think.
Bellarmine.
Bellarmine. Okay.
Bellarmine.
Well, thank you, Parker. So we just need to play smart, play good, and really just get that competitive edge back to us, because that's one thing we kind of lost from those last 2 games, and that's all I got to say there.
Well, the Knights certainly bring an offensive attack to the play, and West Georgia's really just done they've tried their best with attack errors, and Kara Hellman really puts her hope in her offense a lot. So it really just sits at how many mistakes can West Georgia really patch up, and how many can they, take advantage of.
The West Georgia volleyball team, they've been kind of uncharacteristically struggling at home over this last week or so. I really hope that this being homecoming week is going to bring at least an extra few people in the stands. We need it. We need people to show out for this volleyball game. And I think if people do, we can win. Bringing the environment, and this team will want to play for you.
Yeah, pack out the Coliseum, man. I just love how official Parker sounds, man. Parker,
Dude, oh my
you can
gosh.
tell that
He's
this
done his
man sits
research.
behind the mic day in and day out, because he just knows everything, man. It's so good. But yeah, this West Georgia volleyball team, I love them. I love watching them. It's exciting.
It is fun
I'm
to
not
watch. It's a lot of fun.
that knowledgeable about volleyball. So you can ask John and Jason, when I'm sitting in the crowd, I go oh, whoa, yeah, every time they hit the ball, because so much happens. I love it.
No, what's even better is when I was there for the Jacksonville game, I was sitting in front of Zoe Rush's dad, ended up figuring that out, and that is a spectacle of a man to listen and watch to, because oh my gosh, he got everyone so hyped up, put a big old smile on my face. One of the best experiences I had right there. And I just ended up finding out that's Zoe's dad. And I was like, holy smokes, what?
Dude, these volleyball games are so fun to go to. We need more students to go to these and support this team, because this team is good. When they catch fire, they are unstoppable. We've seen that. And we just need to bring an environment to where that is an easy thing for them to do. Also, let's talk about West Georgia soccer. What happened last night, Jason?
What happened last night?
What happened?
Nothing happened last night. That is exactly that's my analysis. Nothing happened last night. Parker, you were on the mic. You saw the nothingness, man. How it okay? Let's kind of pivot. How hard is it to call a game like that?
It's hard when you're by yourself. When you're not by yourself, it can get very easy. I got my buddy Zach with me all the time.
Shout out Zach.
Shout out Zach Tefelsky. He's a good kid, and he's really done an incredible job sitting next to me on a lot of these games. And when it comes to the game yesterday, you just got to think about Lipscomb. Man, their offense has been incredible all season. I mean, Kiara probably is gonna be. I assume, I don't want to jump the gun, but she's looking at top rank in the A-Sun Conference. She's probably going to be A-Sun Conference Player of the Year. 13 goals.
That's
she got
crazy.
her 13th yesterday.
That's a lot of goals.
Yeah, and they had Katie Brightwell, who
I can't even
who
count
scored.
that high.
Dude, there's more fingers than I got. I run out after 10.
But they had Katie Brightwell scored 2 as well. And that Lipscomb team, man, if there's one team that can really just get in that A-Sun championship and spark it up, it is 100% that Lipscomb Bison's team. But West Georgia, they really weigh their play on the mistakes that the other teams make, and sometimes that just doesn't pay off the way you want it to.
Yeah. So, like we have said, big homecoming weekend here for West Georgia. Show up, show out for the Wolves. But I think it's time to go into a little bit of triple play.
It's time for triple play.
There's 1, there's 2, and there's 3. A triple play.
Ladies and gentlemen, probably our favorite segment, our signature segment of the Triple Threat Show. Triple play. We love to do it. So Parker, if you're unsure of what triple play is, I'll let the crowd know, everybody watching. Triple
Nice
play
refresher.
is where we have 3 things that we basically rank, right? This week, the topic is the last 3 National League MVPs. So you got Ronald Acuna in 2023, Paul Goldschmidt in 2022, and Bryce Harper in 2021. So you just rank them, who you think's better, and then you kind of have to state your case as to why. So, Parker, I'm going to start it off with you.
Well,
Out of what's your ranking?
Well, you can't really. There's a big gap, and you can tell. And Ronald's season last season was incredible. I mean, even I am a Braves fan, and I can openly say that. But at the same time, like, if I were any other fan, who else would you give it to? I know Mookie Betts had a great season, but even his season was incredible. And if you were to put him on this list, he'd probably be above Bryce Harper at least. But at the 2 spot, I got Paul Goldschmidt. It just in order. Paul Goldschmidt, he lit it up that season. I mean, just did an incredible job, just doing everything, batting .317, 115 RBIs.
Dang.
And that was second only to Aaron Judge, who had that 60 home run season. So it's just like, who can you really go against in that for 1 and 2? And then there's Bryce Harper. I hate to put him down there. He's such an incredible player. But at the same time, man, the last 2 seasons that the NL MVPs have had, you can't put those two under Bryce. You really can't.
100%. John?
Dang, dang. You actually have made me change my mind from my original list.
Whoa.
I mean, you guys know
The sports knowledge.
The sports knowledge.
You know who my number 1 is. It's gonna be Acuna all day. I mean, we go.
He better be all 4 of our number
I mean,
ones.
when we go back and talk about it, there's rule changes because of Acuna and stuff. And or was it Acuna or who
Yeah,
we
he
talking
was
about?
the year after.
Sorry, but you see what I'm saying?
Still.
The impact of
Yes.
it. And then now that you like drop all these statistics about Paul Goldschmidt, because 2022 I didn't watch much baseball, but you drop the statistics there. Yeah, I'm gonna put Paul Goldschmidt at 2 and then Bryce Harper at 1. You just sold me on Goldschmidt at 2. I really don't have much to say about it. And then I guess it makes me happy putting Bryce Harper at 3, even though he's a phenomenal player. Just screw the Phillies. That's all I can say.
Yeah. I think in order is a perfect way to summarize this. I'm gonna have to go. I mean, I'm a certified Braves hater. Y'all know that.
Yeah, you're a
like,
Marlins
I do
fan.
not like. Yeah, I'm a Marlins fan. We don't win. I like watching the Braves lose. Right? Like that's what happens. But yeah, you have to go in order. I mean, Acuna's 40-70 season was amazing. He balled out, and Goldschmidt to me is a clear number 2. I think I love Bryce Harper. I think he plays the villain role perfectly. Like, I think he does it better than almost anybody else in sports.
Yeah,
but
he does.
Paul Goldschmidt, it's the 115 RBIs. Like, that's what separates him, and the .317 batting average. Like,
Golly.
that's insane to sustain that over a whole season and have 115 RBIs. He did so much for that Cardinals team in 2022. You got to go Goldschmidt too, and then Harper had an MVP season, but just not to the level that Acuna nor Goldschmidt did.
So,
Lay it on us, Jason.
ladies and gentlemen, we did something that we have never, ever, ever, ever done before. All 4 of us are going to have the same
Clean
exact
sweep.
list.
Look at that. More
I am going to
history
go
being
with
made in
Acuna
this show.
having the number 1, which was obvious.
How can you
40-70, unanimous. You cannot argue with that. We're going to have probably another unanimous NL MVP this season. We can talk about that really quick after this. But then I am going to go Goldschmidt at number 2 and Harper at number 3. Now, y'all know before the show came on, I was debating between, like, I had no idea which, because Harper beat out Goldschmidt in his OPS, slugging, on base percentage, and OPS plus. I really love the OPS plus stat because that really tells you how much better
You're good. Take your time, JV.
how much better of a batter you are compared to the league average hitter.
Yeah.
So he is 79% better than the average hitter that year. Paul
Goodness.
Goldschmidt had a 177, so it was really close.
Yes.
They were really close. Paul Goldschmidt had a better defensive season that year, and that is why I gave him the little bit of the edge there. I'm also a big fan of the WAR stat.
Yes, wins above replacement.
Wins
Oh,
above
yeah.
replacement.
I know what that means.
Big
how,
stat.
how valuable they are
Yes.
for their team, how much value they add to their team, and that accounts for every team. Bryce Harper in his season had a 5.9 WAR. Paul Goldschmidt had a 7.7 WAR.
Jeez.
Acuna, just for reference, had a 8.2 WAR in his
Yeah.
season.
Holy
so
Toledo.
that's my reasoning for my list.
Yeah. So you said clear NL MVP favorite. Show some light onto that. So I know it's obvious.
So
Yeah.
for the 2024 season,
For this season.
it is clearly Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah,
I mean,
100%. 100%.
I mean,
Big
there's no
surprise.
doubt. You can't add drama to that. Everybody knows the next two words coming out of my mouth. It is clearly, without even having to throw a pitch, this guy is still clearly the MVP. Blows my mind. John,
Yes.
what do you have to make of this season?
It's been just to see what Shohei has done. Just not throwing a singular pitch this season, and yet it's speculative. The Dodgers make the World Series. He could pitch, right? Is it speculated?
It's doubtful.
He's not
Doubtful.
pitching.
Okay.
in 2024.
Well, no, I just wanted to ask.
There's no
but
need.
really, just for the position he's been playing in, the way he's been playing like a freak out there, and he's just having fun, and he's finally getting the opportunity that he should have had a long time ago because he's one heck of an athlete. And so really it's the unanimous, and I'm not arguing against it. It's cool. I love it.
Yeah,
So,
Shohei, when I watched Shohei, at first I didn't like him because he was so good, and then he went to the Dodgers. I was like, what the heck, man? That's kind of stinky right there. Why'd you do that? But at the same time, it's like you have to realize we're probably watching the greatest player of all time.
one of, at least.
I think by the end of his career, it's going to be unanimous that Shohei's the greatest player of all time because he's putting up stats like he does hitting, right? This season is a historic season with the bat. And then when he pitches, he is the best pitcher out there, if
Lights
not
out.
one of the best pitcher out there. Like he's having 2 Hall of Fame careers right now.
Yeah.
And that is
I would say,
wild.
when can you have a starting pitcher throw near 100 miles an hour and then go slug it on with the bat?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, dude, he's got 54 home runs and 130
Insane.
RBIs. What pitcher in the last 100 years
Yeah.
has even thought about doing that?
Someone.
Yeah, someone.
There's someone out there.
But like last night, he had a leadoff home run.
Mhm.
Like the
Yeah.
production is still there in the postseason.
Let's also talk about last night.
You can't.
Destruction.
We'll get to that.
No, just destruction,
But
dude.
You cannot, there's nothing he can do bad. Because even if he doesn't throw another pitch again in his career,
Yeah.
he can go into the Hall of Fame, like you said, just off of his hitting prowess.
Yeah.
That
Vice versa.
blows my mind. That blows my mind. And you can't even hate on him for, some people get dogged on for their October performance. And they try to knock that against them for their Hall of Fame careers. You can't do that for Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah.
This boy has gone out there, taking advantage of his opportunity. Poor Mike Trout is having to sit and
I
support
feel
his
so bad
friend.
for that man.
Man, he's really kind of almost turning into a what-if story with all the injuries he's had.
I know.
But anyways, and on the Angels.
Don't
but
say that,
anyways,
dude.
But anyways, absolutely phenomenal. What a player. We are watching not a one in a generation. We are watching a once and ever player
Yeah,
play right now.
truly a once-in-a-lifetime player.
Oh yeah. Also, sorry, a little confusion there. Last night, the Dodgers. What did they just do to the Mets, man?
Just exposed him.
Destroyed them.
Exposed him.
Killed
Destroyed
them.
them.
Like I did not when this series was split going into New York. There was not a scenario in my mind where I was like, yeah, the Dodgers are just gonna walk into New York and absolutely kill the Mets in both games. Like, is anybody else as speechless as I am?
Frank the Tank.
Frank the Tank. Dude, I feel bad. He's crashing out right now.
He's got to be. You got to feel for the Mets, though.
I know.
They came all this way just
Oh,
to
I
play
don't.
such a stacked Dodgers team like that, especially in a CS like this. And you point out how the home run from Ohtani, but he also got walked 3 times in that game as well. So, what can you say more? The Mets just they're the pawn to what the Dodgers are playing with right now.
Yeah.
And the Dodgers, boy, it's hard to see them losing at all, especially in the next couple weeks, even going into the World Series.
I am rooting for a Guardians-Dodgers World Series.
That'd be
I know a lot of
sweet.
y'all are rooting for, I think, a Mets
A Subway
World
Series.
Oh yeah, a lot of people are rooting for that Subway Series. But I still love Freddie Freeman, and I want to see Shohei Ohtani play in a I almost said Super Bowl, in a World Series.
Dang, he's a multi-sport athlete. Dang, okay.
He
Hey,
does
it wouldn't
it all.
surprise me.
Yeah, I think
he deserves it.
I think a Guardians Mets World Series is like best case scenario.
Guardians
in my mind.
Mets or
Guardians
Guardians
Mets? Because I just want to see. I want to see what happens if the Mets win the World Series. I'm not gonna lie. I want to see what Frank the Tank will do.
Well, how do y'all feel about a Subway Series?
A
though?
Subway Series would be pretty
Subway
dope.
Series
That
for the
city
World
would burn
Series?
down regardless.
It's a cool idea as a fan. Do I like it? No. But do I actually understand the whole idea of it being a Subway Series? Yes, and it's actually pretty cool.
I would not
Yeah.
want to be in New York.
No,
during
no.
that
No.
series.
City,
I'll stay here in
regardless of who
Carrollton.
wins, it's gonna burn down.
Yeah, they're gonna blow something up.
I was
they'll blow more than
I was in
something.
New York during the Mets last series, and just after they won like one of the games. Wait, who'd they play last series? I'm having a brain fart. Somebody help me.
Padres.
Somebody help me.
Mets.
Who did the
Yeah.
Mets just beat?
Oh, yeah,
Phillies.
the Phillies.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
the
it.
Phillies.
Thank
That-
you. They
that
after
team.
they won that last game against Philadelphia, dude. New York was going
you were there.
great. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I was there. I was literally walking down the streets of New York right as they won the game. In fact, I felt so bad. There was this one guy watching it on his phone, and I think he was a little bit delayed, and it had already like released that
Oh,
they had
no.
won.
Oh.
And like he's sitting there like so intently, he's on the edge of his seat, and me and Sean were just casually talking about how the Mets had won. I felt so bad.
Yeah, so that does it for Triple Play and some for this week. We're going to go into a quick song break. We will be back shortly. This is Jackson Schrader, and you're listening to Triple Threat, now live on Wolf Sports Network, Fridays from 11 to 12.
The despair seems endless, like the oceans in front of me. No matter how far you swim, there seems to be no other option than to drown in the unhappiness and self-pity. Few and far between are the moments of clarity and even joy. Yet, like a beast in the wilderness, it always seems to find me. However, there is one thing that brings me joy, unmatched by anything else. This show called Sports Back, right? It comes on Mondays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. on Wolf Sports Network. It's next level.
It's time. To snake your case. All right. Welcome back from the song break. Got a little Georgia on our mind there. I love that song.
Let it be April and the Masters.
Dude, right.
Yeah.
It is time for Snake Your Case, my personal favorite segment.
Yeah,
Always seems to
do.
bring up great conversation.
Yes, it does.
But Jason, you won last week. You got 42% of the votes. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I
thank
came in
you.
second. Gonna toot my horn there. And big shocker, John came in last.
It's me versus the world.
That's crazy.
But Jason, that
Yeah.
means you get to choose this week's order now with 4 people because we got Parker here today. So what
Yes.
is this order going to be?
So first, I'm gonna say what we're talking about.
Do
we're
that.
doing.
Do
We're
that.
doing.
That exists.
I may have forgotten.
Yeah, we are doing sports mascots. Okay, so we are gonna draft the best sports mascots. Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
our order.
couldn't have said it any better.
Yeah, there you go. All right, the order. Now we do have a special guest, Mr. Parker Gore. I think it's going to be a very unique advantage to have the first or fourth pick in this pick.
I like the stalling.
Also, we're drafting four
Yeah.
mascots.
Thank you for
okay?
4
clarifying
mascots.
All right.
Who's first?
I feel so selfish, but I'm going to give myself the first.
That's what
pick.
happens.
Okay, that's fair. No,
I feel
dude, honestly,
selfish.
that's fair.
deserve it.
I'm going to
That's
give
fair.
our guest the 4th pick,
Okay.
and I'm going to give
Dude, your choice.
I'm going to give
Who will it be?
John the 2nd pick.
I'll take
Swag.
third.
Okay.
I'll take second. I'll
Okay.
take second.
I'll give
Let's
you
go.
the 3rd pick. All right, with my first pick, I'm going to shoe him in, lock him in. Safest pick, best pick. I'm going to go with the Philly Fanatic.
Oh,
Gotta
shocker.
have the Philly Fanatic. He's going to be
Shocker.
my captain.
All right, so now it's to me.
That goofy ball.
Give me Puddles from Oregon.
Puddles.
Puddles.
The Oregon
Puddles
Duck.
from Oregon.
Duck.
This is
Wow.
why. This is why
Oregon
I gave
Duck.
him the 2nd pick.
Steal.
All right. This one is going deep into college football lore. I love this one. He's the
College
goofiest,
football.
ugliest,
Don't
confusing
do
looking
it.
mascot of all time. Give me the Western Kentucky
Oh my
red,
gosh.
whatever the heck that,
That
thing
was
is.
it.
A grimace.
I was
Yeah.
fully. That was going to be my pick.
Yeah.
I'm not
Really?
gonna lie. Yeah,
Dang.
the
Really?
Big Red
Dude,
was going to be my
Big
pick.
Red.
Man.
Big
is-
Red is he's
well,
the go.
the good news is you got 2 picks right here.
That is true. That is true. And
Yeah, so you
for my
can-
for my first pick,
Mhm.
just because of the social media presence that comes with this mascot and the fact
Okay.
that I have to combat off of Jason's pick, I'm going Blooper.
Oh.
Yeah, I already wrote it down.
I
I'm
mess
going
with that.
I wrote it down for all 3 of y'all thinking that y'all are going to pick it.
I like that. I like
I
that,
got
Parker.
the A1. Pretty good steak sauce, by the way. You got the A2, so good pick.
All right, who's the next pick, Parker?
Yeah. You
It
got
is me again, and if you played, and this is a audience here that you gotta really touch to. If
You
you
do.
played any
What are you
college
talking about?
football, NCAA football, like 12, 13,
Yep.
14, you played mascot mashup.
Yes, you did.
And when you played mascot mashup, you know who you picked, and that was the Stanford Tree.
Oh my gosh.
Without a single
Oh
doubt in
my
my
gosh,
mind,
what
give
an
me the
elite
Stanford
pick.
Cardinal Tree.
Man.
Now,
What
I'm going to
what a
make my
pick.
next pick the rivalry in mascot mode. Give me the Syracuse Orange.
Oh, he's got 2 big blobs on his team.
Dude.
Man.
We're
Man.
blobby over here.
Yeah.
You know what? Give me Benny the Bull over
Oh,
at the
that's a
Chicago
good pick.
Bulls.
That's a good
Ooh,
pick.
Benny
That
the
is a good
Bull.
pick.
I
That's
was
a
gonna-
safe.
I was gonna draft him. Next. A good pick.
Tell me
now,
the list runs
something
deep.
I didn't know before we started doing research for these mascots and everything.
I didn't do
was,
research.
Was
That's
that's a
just
lie.
name searching is all I did.
13.
Continue.
What I didn't know is there's a mascot Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And I want you to know that the Philly Fanatic is a Hall of Famer. I'm about to build me a Hall of Fame lineup.
Do it.
Also, I'm going to know my audience. My audience, they love them Georgia Bulldogs. You know who they love? They love Ugga. They love Ugga. I got Ugga on my squad.
That's a good pick.
All right. I love me some Ugga.
I feel sorry for everybody that just had to listen to that.
Oh man, I love me some Ugga. All right, now for my next pick, it'll be my third pick. I'm going to go with
Speed.
Think about
All
it.
right, I'm going to go with Gritty from the Philadelphia Flyers. I thought that Schrader would
okay.
appreciate that pick.
Give me a little.
That
give me
boy is
little
a
hockey
freaky
boy.
looking guy. Debuted in 2018. Love that fella. He looks cool. I like him.
Is it back to me? Yeah, it is. Give me Blue from the Colts.
Blue.
Good pick.
Easy.
Dude, I'm gonna
Great one.
Good
stick.
pick.
I am loving this college football theme I got going.
Okay.
Big
okay.
college football guy. But it's who do I go next? I think that I'm going to go with the Buffalo from Colorado. I forgot his name. Ralphie.
Ralphie.
Ralphie, I think that's his name.
Dang, I had that on here, bro.
I like that guy.
From
and I'm gonna go
Colorado.
with Colorado. He is a live bull or a live bison.
Yeah.
Whatever he is. He's big and he's fast and he runs on the field every Saturday. So give me that boy.
Okay.
My pick is it's certainly a big one, and it's
I feel like I might know who you're going with here when you just said it's a big one.
I don't think you do.
I don't
think
know.
you do.
I don't
And you know we love our real mascots, the ones that you can't put in a costume, the ones that come out, run out onto the field like the Sooners with the
Okay.
Bulls.
I got you.
But I've got a really good one here, and you can't really compare to this one. I've got Mike the Tiger
You son of a gun.
from the LSU Tigers.
Mike
He
the
is
Tiger.
literally a tiger, guys.
You
He's
put him in a
literally
cage. He's a tiger.
He's literally a tiger. He's a tiger, and that's all I gotta say. He's a tiger.
That's crazy.
Oh my
All right.
gosh.
All
You
right.
got another pick, my good sir.
Oh,
don't you?
I was so locked in on the Michael Tiger
Yeah.
pick.
I was like, they
So
have like,
locked in.
Dude, I was about to do a Coach O voice and everything. I was like, no, Mike the Tiger.
Go Tigers.
That's good, really good.
But for my next pick, I've got to go to Florida, where this guy really loves the heat. I'm going Jackson DeVille from the Jacksonville
Yeah.
It's
Jaguars.
another
I
one off
thought
my
about it.
list.
That's a good pick.
That's an awesome pick.
Wait.
I love it.
Fellas, what do we do if Parker wins the polling? Parker.
Oh,
Give
you know,
us
no.
Chris
Whoa.
High five.
You
He
got to
picks
give me
the order.
50
He'll
bucks.
pay, yeah.
50
Hold on.
bucks.
Hey,
Whoa,
hey,
whoa, whoa, whoa,
hey, hey. Hey, now we got a budget here, all right?
Oh man, here we go. See, I got two that I'm conflicted between. But I gotta go with my favorite mascot. The one that I see almost every Saturday, all the time in the Coliseum. Give me the greatest mascot of all time, Wolfie!
I feel so
Good
dumb for not
pick.
picking Wolfie.
Wolfie.
My heart is broken
What
now.
were we
Oh my
doing here?
goodness.
That should have been pick number one.
Dude,
Should've.
that really should have been first off
Steal.
the board.
It's the best mascot in America.
100% steal. All right. You really got me good with taking Mike the Tiger. I really thought was going to be my fourth one. When you said big, though, the first thing that I looked down on my list is one that perhaps lives in Texas. One that perhaps gets fed over, I think, 600 plus pounds of food a week. And the man named Bevo.
One hungry boy.
Hey! Don't start a fight. Don't put Bevo and Ugga in a room together with.
Give me
yeah.
the old
Again,
Bevo
last time.
doses.
The sequel.
Last time it didn't go so good. We'll have to
No,
keep
it
those
did
away from
not.
each other.
Actually, I think Ugga is not traveling to Texas this weekend.
Oh, good for them. He doesn't want to end up
Yeah.
impaled by one of those big old horns that.
But yeah,
Bevo's got.
Bevo is my final pick. So the big old
All
old
right,
bull.
Jason.
All right.
Who's rounding it out?
Who's rounding me out? The only mascot who's able to pull. And I think as the only member of Triple Threat who has a girlfriend, I should be able to pick this pick. It is going to be
All right, bullet shot, man.
Mr. Met himself. Mr. Met.
Oh,
Mr.
Met.
Met.
Yeah,
What about Mrs. Met?
Yeah, what about her?
Yeah, well, it's
I mean,
it's kind of
package
inferred.
deal?
It's kind of, like I said, it's inferred. If you get Mr. Met, you get Mrs. Met with
Met.
him.
He's got
Okay.
Hallie as
Okay.
Mrs. Met.
Yeah.
So
He pulled.
shout out Hallie, by the way.
Shout out Hallie. We love her.
Who surprised me after last week's triple
Yes,
threat.
she
Absolutely.
did.
Shout out
She
to her.
did.
Good stuff.
So, I kind of have a couple missing on my little list, but Jason, who is your team? Do you remember? Because you had Philly Fanatic.
Oh yeah, I had
Ugga.
Philly Fanatic, Ugga, and then I had Gritty from the
Gritty,
Philadelphia
that's who it
Flyers.
was.
And
And
then
Mr. Met.
Yes, which you might want to put in parentheses, Mrs. Met with him.
Yes,
Yeah.
Mr.
Yeah.
and Mrs.
Mad.
Mr. and Mrs. Met. You got to give them both.
Parker had Blooper, the Stanford Tree, Mike the Tiger,
Such a good
and
one.
Jackson DeVille.
Good
John
pick.
had the Oregon Duck,
Puddles.
Puddles,
Man,
Benny
got
the
Sidney
Bull,
Sweeney on his line.
Bevo, and then who was the other guy?
Benny the Bull, Blue, Puddles, and Bevo.
Blue.
Blue's a good one.
Blues for who's he play? Who's
He plays the Colts.
Colts.
Colts,
Right.
Yep. The
Yeah.
one
Oh.
that
Hey man,
The one that absolutely like stiff arms
Yeah,
kids
the
when
one
they
that
go to charity
Yeah.
games.
kills recreational football children
Yeah.
on a
So
weekly
funny.
basis. On a weekly basis.
Hey
All
man,
right.
also when you have Puddles, Sidney Sweden hitting your line on the Instagram story. Hey man,
Dude,
that's a
was so
power play
funny.
right there.
He said, "Sydney Sweeney,
man,
call
say
me
man."
back."
And then who's your squad?
I had the Western Kentucky Big Red, the Syracuse Orange, Ralphie, and the Goat, Wolfie.
Oh
Now,
my
should we do
God.
some honorable mentions?
Oh,
Are y'all down for
100%.
that?
Without a doubt.
I can do some.
All
honorable
right,
mentions.
Jason, kick us off with the honorable mentions. We will go in order.
A really great NBA mascot that didn't get picked was the Raptor.
I had him on
Oh,
my
yeah.
list.
The
Yeah, yeah.
Raptor, man, that boy be dunking, and we didn't pick that boy.
Well, if you go with his balloon counterpart, he's eating people too. You know? So
Yeah.
that's a package deal right there. But for my pick, I'm a fan of this team. I couldn't go without saying I'll Be the Tiger is one of the best
Yeah,
mascots
he's
in
awesome.
America.
He's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
He literally wins national championships in what he does. So
Yes.
I can't leave off I'll Be the Tiger.
Yes.
I think it doesn't hurt to mention our very own Freddie the Falcon. I love him.
Freddie the Falcon, the daredevil
The
himself.
Daredevil.
He flies.
The people love him. He jumps off Mercedes-Benz Stadium like Batman, but not Batman. I think it's just honorable to mention the Fredsters.
Yeah, I got to go with Chief Osceola and Renegade. I can't leave him out of
Yeah,
here.
of course.
A literal dude on a horse with a flaming spear. That's pretty
That's
dope.
pretty cool.
If you
That's
ask
pretty
me.
cool.
Another guy I had going into it, I almost picked him with my last pick.
Yeah.
It's Purdue Pete.
Yes.
Yes.
That big old chin. You can't get away with that big old chin right there.
What is the Nickelodeon character that had the Crimson Chin?
Crimson Chin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I think about. The Crimson Chin. What about Victor the Viking?
Yeah.
With the Vikings.
Ooh.
That's
Yeah.
a good one. That's a good honorable mention.
You know, I went with Ugga as my college mascot because, I had to. But another signature college mascot, he's in the Hall of Fame as well, I noticed, is Smokey from the
Oh my
old Rocky
gosh.
Top.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
100%.
Everybody does love Smokey.
I do not like the University of Alabama, but we have to talk about Big
We
Al.
do have
Oh.
to.
We have to
Yeah.
talk about
We
Big
do.
Al. His name has to be out there for talking about mascots. But I would like to say I do not like the University of Alabama.
No,
that
no one
that
does.
needs to be said.
We have something in common in college
go.
football.
Yeah,
Let's go.
I think we all have that in common.
Shoot.
Yes, that everybody except Alabama fans. have that in common.
You gotta slip in Harry the Hawk too.
I
Yep.
had that on
Yeah,
the
Harry the
list.
Can't leave out Harry the Hawk. He was bagging chicks just a couple weeks ago.
That's
so.
great.
That's that boy right there.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
But man, mascots just make sports amazing. They're one thing that is so unique to sports that it brings
It just
fun
means
for
more.
the fans. It just means more, especially in college football, if you couldn't tell by my list. But that was an awesome Snake Your Case. But I think it's just time to talk about this weekend in sports. I had to do the stager.
No. We're actually taking a quick song break.
We're taking
We'll
a
be
quick
back.
song break before we jump into this weekend in sports. I just get excited.
Hey man,
Quick song break.
We'll be
Can't
back
wait.
shortly. If you want to listen on the radio station, wolfsportsnetwork.com. It's in the description. We'll be back shortly.
That's hilarious.
This is John Halley, and you're listening to Triple Threat, only on Wolf Sports Network.
This weekend in sports.
Now
I
you
love
can
that
say it.
statement.
Now you can say it, buddy.
Now it's time for this
Now I
weekend
know
in
exactly what it
sports.
was.
Now it's time for this weekend in sports. I love that stager. It gets me hyped to talk about sports. But talking about this weekend, we got to go back to last night because last night was a pretty big day in sports with the Cleveland Guardians, formerly the Indians, rest in peace, played in one of the best baseball games we have seen this year. It was the poster child for October baseball. Jason, you look a little eager to talk about it. Why don't you tell us what happened last night in Cleveland?
Oh my goodness, what didn't happen in Cleveland last night? What a fun game, dude. I love October baseball. What a game that was. Man, every inning had something for you. Who was the opener for Cleveland yesterday?
I can tell you.
Because while John finds out his name, that boy was not supposed to go 5 innings. He went 5 innings, shut down the Yankees with respect to 1 home run.
Which is good against the Yankees.
Hold on, I got it for you right here. Matthew Boyd.
Yeah, Matthew Boyd.
Let's go,
exactly.
Matthew.
I love that Cleveland is getting to play on this stage, getting the love of these players that are ballers. They're in such a small market team. They have such a small budget as opposed to like somebody like the Yankees or the Mets, and they just show why they're here. Holy moly. Emmanuel Clase comes in. He's going to be the closer of the year. And Darren Judge and Stanton, who's having a great postseason, hits a home run. They get behind David Fry. He doesn't come up in the 8th, but he comes up with that walk-off in the 10th. But what happened before that?
Christmas.
No,
Big Christmas.
Bam! Ties that game in the
Yeah.
ninth. Insane game.
Insane. That game was incredible. I wasn't able to watch it. I was calling the game last night, but we were certainly looking at the highlights, and man, the smile on my face when I saw Big Noel, Big Christmas put a stamp on a ball.
Dude, there's nothing like that Cleveland crowd when it gets loud, when it gets going. Watching Fry put the win in the bag was it was awesome. Another game that happened last night, a little less exciting, a little more surprising, was the Denver Broncos walked into New Orleans and
they whooped,
slapped the Saints silly. John, what are your immediate thoughts on this game?
I mean, it's a broken Saints team right now, and I thought it was gonna be a field goal slugfest, and it was for the first couple minutes. Then Javonte Williams showed up, and rest in peace to any fantasy owners that left him on their bench, and he absolutely destroyed the Saints, and they won.
Yeah,
they won.
I feel bad for Spencer Rattler in this game simply because he didn't play bad. 25 of 35, 172 yards, just nothing else. He got sacked 6 times, and they were missing Olave and Shaheed. He really didn't have anybody to throw it to, but this Saints offense could not get going with Kamara, who has been he messed up a few people in fantasy. I'll say that. I had Denver's defense, so I was chilling.
I raised my hand on that one. I had Javonte on the bench, and I had Alvin starting.
You got the exact
double
worst case
whammy, dude.
scenario.
I got the worst case scenario right there. He got me 5 points, and Javonte's sitting on that bench with like 25.
That's crazy. Y'all call that game surprising. I wasn't surprised by that game at all. We've seen these Saints offense is totally out of rhythm without Derek Carr, without Olave, without Shaheed. I wasn't surprised at all. And Javonte, he was bound to break out at some point, and he did.
Yeah, we were truly just waiting on Javonte to find his mark, and when we see so many of these teams come up with just not much backup plans. You know, Derek Carr went down, and now you're bringing in a rookie quarterback in Spencer Rattler, and sure, we've seen him play a lot, but can he play at the NFL level? And we see that same situation going on with the Dolphins right now. I mean, you see Tua go down, and you should have had a contingency plan right there at that, but instead you're sitting in a hole with Tim Boyle and Skylar Thompson as your quarterbacks after that. So,
depending on how this week goes, I am the Dolphins getting on my knees to try to get Russell Wilson. I
have a different
Russell
idea.
Wilson on my
Dolphins.
team.
Yeah,
That's
I
a
think
trade
we all
target
have
for a
different
lot of-
ideas for the Dolphins, but we got to talk about a pretty big matchup here in Atlanta this week.
Oh yeah,
Our
Battle
Dirty
of the
Birds. The Battle of the Birds, our Dirty Birds are taking on the Seattle Seahawks in the Benz at 1 o'clock. Parker, you were wearing a Bijan jersey a couple days ago. How are you feeling about this game, and what will the Falcons have to do to get a W against the Seattle team?
I'm feeling good about this game on Sunday, but the person that's got to win it is Big Kirko.
Kirko
Chains.
It's Kirktober's
cousins. He's really got to just find his rhythm, keep that rhythm that he's been going with for the past couple weeks, and they can win that ball game. But on the other side, the Seahawks, man, I think I can predict that DK Metcalf's going to have a huge game. We have the Falcons have a very undersized defensive back core, and DK Metcalf plays to the strengths of that.
I don't think he's undersized either.
Walk in your
Not at
trap,
all.
take over the trap. Walk in your trap, take over the trap. That's what Kirk Cousins says.
Yes, sir.
He's going to walk in that trap, and he's going to take that over.
Yeah.
Dude, I think this game has potential to be the highest scoring game of the season so far. You don't think so? These are high-powered
I don't
offenses. The Seattle has a terrible defense. They have a bad rush defense. They have a bad pass defense. I think we're going to exploit them on all fronts. I think that the Atlanta Falcons are dropping at least 42.
That is a lot of points.
Highest scoring game of the season's a lot to talk about, especially with the games that the Falcons and the Bucks had, and the Falcons the Saints and the Bucks, 51-27.
Yeah. That was a high-scoring game.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
so you've got a lot to go up against, but I see what you mean, Jason. I
You
do
see the
believe
vision.
I see the vision. I believe at least both teams are dropping 28 plus.
Yeah, I think both of these offenses are stellar, but hey, Falcons got a pretty darn good defense, so I don't know.
We'll see.
I think we might be able to stop that offense. John,
Yeah.
I think this weekend in Texas, there's some F1 stuff going on. I know you're an F1 junkie. Would you like to shine some light on the world of the Zoom cars?
Yeah, so this weekend they're at Circuit of the Americas over in Austin, Texas. It's crazy. It's been a break for F1 it's been a 3-week break, so they're back. We'll just see what adjustments for my favorite team, Red Bull, have made, and we'll just see, how it goes. And breaking news. Oh yeah, since the last time I talked about F1, Daniel Ricciardo, when I mentioned Sports Pack, he is now gone. Liam Lawson is in his seat for the rest of the season. But yeah, F1's back, baby. College football's here this weekend, and yeah.
Yeah. Quick college football thing, going to talk about very quickly. Oregon is traveling to an unranked Purdue. Might I say number 2 Oregon traveling to an unranked Purdue. This
Tonight.
game might seem like, why would I watch that game? It's going to be a blowout. Well, since 2018, an unranked Purdue team has beaten a top 3 team at home 3 times. So I'm not saying it's going to be an upset. But I would say you might want to tune into this game because there might be an upset if history repeats itself.
Right.
Now, Parker, we have stated before that you are the voice of the UWG Athletics. You are there behind the mic for everything. What's going on soon? How can we listen? Where can we watch it?
Just ESPN Plus. That's where everything's at. You go on ESPN Plus, you get a subscription, and you can hear my beautiful voice every week.
Sure can.
Half
Beautiful.
a week, every week. I do every single sport. So if we're broadcasting it, I'm there. So
Awesome.
just tune in
Awesome.
whenever you can. A lot of going on this week. It's going to be a busy weekend.
Sure is, man.
Volleyball today. Football tomorrow, and then Sunday both soccer and volleyball, but I'll be stuck doing volleyball that day as well. So, show out.
Yeah.
Be there. If you don't want to be there, you can listen to me on ESPN Plus.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Perfect. Well,
Okay.
thank you so much for joining us for this show.
Absolutely.
It was a pleasure.
Just
Dude, yeah,
loved having
seriously,
you
thank
on.
you so much, dude.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
it was awesome. You bring another dimension to the show. It's awesome. It was fun. It was entertaining. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. We love having y'all. We love spending our Friday mornings like this. Yeah, we will be back next week, so tune in then. For John, Parker, Jason, and myself, Toodles.
Doodles.